Hey guys, welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound. I'm your host Sean, and today we're going to talk about a few relatively underrated coins that no one is really searching for. Now, there's going to be a few people that say that they are actively looking through these coins, but based off of the actual live numbers of these coins that are just sitting in bank vaults across America is quite staggering. So this might be an opportunity for you guys to look through them for very specific coins. Okay, these are errors that have been embraced in the coin community as being pretty cool because of just the way that these are produced. The US Mint had actually made the coins so that way they have a pretty cool edge lettering. But the errors that we're going to look for is called the missing edge lettered coins. We're going to talk a little bit about how much you could sell these for on the secondary market, and I'm happy to say they are certainly worth a look. Oftentimes the coins can fetch at a minimum $20 a piece, and guess what? No grading necessary. That's the beautiful part. But if you wanted to grade some of the coins, I would be more than happy to talk about the top 5 presidential dollar coins with missing edge lettering that's worth the most amount of money. You will be pleasantly surprised at how much some of these coins go for. So a quick little recap. This is a series that went on from 2007 all the way to 2016. The series itself was met with kind of like a mixed reaction, all right? There was quite a bit of fanfare for the people that wanted to engage in another multi-year coin set. And they figure, hey, the dollar coins seems really cool, you know, especially when we have the likenesses of every single president from George Washington all the way up to the end of the program. Just seemed very attractive for a lot of people. So right out of the gate in 2007, you know, you had George Washington, of course, the first president on this particular series, followed by John Adams, Thomas J., and James Madison. All right, they were the first 4 coins, and the US Mint would subsequently release 4 coins every year thereafter, all the way up to the end of the program in 2016. However, the program lost its steam, lost its luster pretty quickly. People became disinterested because the overall appearance of these coins didn't quite meet the expectations of a lot of collectors out there. All right, some would say that the ghosting effect of a lot of these coins, if you saw them in hand, you guys will see what I mean. The coins, you know, even though they're produced on the same manganese alloy that you saw on all the other gold dollars, like the Sacagawea Native American series, just being able to put a portrait of every single president and have it look like the likeness of that particular president was quite challenging because of the composition. And oftentimes they looked a little bit too creepy and dark, and you get the big picture. A lot of you that did start this series, you guys know exactly what you're contending with as far as the overall design. So, with that being said, after the first few years, the series had died off with the collector base, so much so that the US Mint pulled a Kennedy half dollar. And what they did was discontinue the presidential dollar series in 2012 for general circulation. So they were not producing any more of these coins to be made available through circulation out there in commerce today. What they did, much like the Kennedy half dollar, was they made coins from 2012 to the end of the program in 2016 as mint exclusive coins only, which means you could only buy them by the roll or bag as they were being released. So the last 4 years, we saw drastic mintage reductions. In 2011, the last year for those circulating coins, we saw mintages in about the 35 to 40 million piece per mint for each one of those presidents in 2011, and it plummeted all the way down to between 4 to 6 million for some of those presidents from 2012 onward, sometimes even dipping as low as 3.5 million. All right, so there are a few coins on this list that are going to be in that NIFC range, or not intended for circulation issues. But I'm going to tell you this right now. people that were buying these coins from the mint in 2012 onward were buying them, holding on to them, finding out that there wasn't a whole lot of value just holding on to these bags and rolls. So they were sending them out into circulation. And we can even say that even the Federal Reserve Bank had circulated some of these 2012 to 2016 coins in circulation as well. All right, so that's kind of a brief history. I know you've been staring at good old George Washington here long enough, the man with the wooden teeth. That probably the most decorated president, of course, to this day, just for being number one. All right, because nobody remembers number two. No offense, John Adams. But anyways, what are we looking for? All right, so we're looking for coins that look like this. The edge is completely smooth. Normally, you would see the date imprinted on there, stamped in there. By the way, all that edge design stuff was actually on the collar. So as the coins were being minted and produced, it would stamp all of the edge features, the motto, the date. There's even a couple stars on there. It was a technological advancement for the production of U.S. coins during that time. So we're going to look for coins with completely smooth edges, all right? You might even find a few coins with partial lettering and numbers on there, okay? They call that weak lettering, all right? And that is a thing. We see it on Thomas Jefferson. John Adams actually has a few weak lettered coins, and they're worth a few bucks, all right? They're not worth a ton of money. But the George Washington that you saw before it was one of the pioneering coins that was discovered to have the missing edge lettering, or for short, MEL. So when you're looking for these coins, again, that smooth surface, George Washington's, of course, the most readily available. As a matter of fact, they still carry a pretty good value. Keep in mind, a lot of the coins that you find out there today, the general circulated examples, which are very minimum, are being used in the vending business. So a lot of the coins that you do come across today normally have circulation, where a lot of that sort of thing. But these examples, and this one particular auction that sold on June 1st, 2021, was actually for 10 raw mint state George Washingtons, which to this day are still available out there, but more so in bank rolls than just finding them out of a vending machine. So we have a lot of 10 missing edge lettered George Washingtons that sold for an easy $200, which puts them at $20 a pop. This is the floor for these things. General circulated missing edge lettered coins of George Washington and a few other more common ones like John Adams aren't worth a whole lot. Maybe you could squeeze $5 out of one, but where you're going to look for are some of the untapped, stored in bank vaults across America at every conceivable bank. There's quite a few of these in mint state condition that you could search through. George Washington, again, the floor, the cheapest, at about $20 a pop, is a pretty good flip if you're looking to make a few dollars. But that's the George Washington. What are the top coins that are worth the most amount of money, not only raw, but also graded? I get that question all the time, but here you go. Here's these 5 coins, starting out with James Monroe, which is a coin released in 2008. All right, normally the missing edge lettered coins are going to be discovered on Philadelphia struck examples. Allegedly, there are some that were struck in Denver as well that exhibit that missing edge lettering. So you can look for these across the country. It doesn't matter where. So the James Monroe has the distinction of being the 5th most rarest missing edge lettered president out of the list. These coins command, generally in raw condition, $50 to $100, depending on whether it's like a fringe mid-state 63 or a coin that is a little bit higher in grade. All right, condition means everything to a collector. Now, the highest graded specimens in like a mid-state 67 command about $250 to $300. So this is the 5th rarest out of the bunch. These are in circulation because they fall within that the first 5-year period of the program. All right, another one that you could look for is actually James Madison. This is a release from the very first year, 2007. James Madison is the 4th rarest missing edge lettered coin that you can look for. And believe it or not, this one is actually quite valuable, especially graded. But a raw example that is still kind of like a mint state 63, 64 example do tend to sell for that $50 to $75 range. However, if you have a premier specimen that looks really clean that you think could grade high, mint state 67 examples have a approximate value through PCGS of $4,000. Okay, so it's a plus or minus affair, but that's kind of like the median price for a high graded specimen of this coin. All right, so number 3 on the list is going to be John Quincy Adams. So we're adding a little Quincy action there in the good old JA coin. But this one probably my least favorite looking coin. JQA looks creepy as all get out in this one, but do not overlook this coin. This is the 3rd rarest MEL coin on the list. This one in grades of mint state 63, 64 raw, command anywhere from that $50 to $75 range. So we have a tie for 3rd, 4th, and 5th in terms of raw value. But in graded form, mint state 68 examples are falling somewhere in that $400 to $500 range. All right, so in theory, the James Madison should be number 3 in the list, and this one number 4, but you know, they're kind of commingled in no really particular order. Well, maybe a little bit of an order, but this is the 3rd most rarest, and this one also can be found in circulation. It's a 2008. So it falls within that circulation period when the U.S. Mint was still making these for general circulation. All right, so the last 2 are going to be some of those NIFC coins, and you might be able to find these in circulation because I know of people that have found the Grover Cleveland in bankrolls. This one was produced for 2012, so this is the first year of the NIFC period. This is the 2nd rarest as of today. But this is an incredibly rare, incredibly valuable coin. If you're lucky enough to find a Grover Cleveland with the missing edge lettering, this is a coin raw with a general grade of mint state 63 to 64 of about $300 to $500, which is a lot of money for a coin that you could just sell right off the cusp of finding it. Graded examples, a mint state 65 is somewhere around $2,000, and that's a PCGS price guide value. And then finally, the last coin that you're going to try and hunt out is going to be a Calvin Coolidge. This one is a 2014 dated coin, and this one has the lowest mintage of about 3.7 million, I believe. Let me go ahead and double check that. No, as a matter of fact, 4.5 million. So 4,480,000. So we just rounded up to 4.5 million. This one right here is the single most rarest missing edge lettering as of today. Now, there are other precedents I didn't talk about where missing edge lettering has not been discovered. So there is a lot of opportunity in this series. However, this example right here, if you find it raw, more than likely you're going to want to grade it because at mint state 65, it is worth $2,500. This is a no-brainer coin. I probably wouldn't sell this raw because it is so undeniably rare in all grades, all conditions. But this is the single most rarest, most valuable raw specimen of a missing edge lettering, keeping in mind that, you know, there are other NIFCs that have gone literally unchecked that might one day usurp Mr. Coolidge on the list. But this is the final coin on here. A really cool $2,500 if you get it graded as a 65 through one of the big grading companies. And that is my top 5 list of missing edge lettered coins you should look for on the Presidential Dollar Series. There are bags and rolls of these all across the nation. You should certainly, if you're bored enough, take a look for these. In addition, there are a number of doubled edge lettered coins that can be discovered. The most notable is John Adams, of course, and Thomas Jefferson. Coins that are really, really cool to look for, and they're worth quite a bit of money raw. All right, so that's going to go ahead and do it for this one. Nice quick video. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. I wish you the best of luck if you're going to search out these coins. They are all over the place. but hidden in view. All right, not generally circulated, but they are out there in the banking system. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this video if you enjoyed today's content. And Coinaholics, we are discovering together. You guys take care, enjoy, and I hope to hear from you soon.